In episode 395, Jose and Ryan cover the Hellraiser physical release news, new update from Martin Mercer, Doug Bradley, and a music video directed by Clive himself, and it's not the one you're thinking of. This episode is sponsored by Don Bertram's Celebrate Imagination. Don Bertram is a longtime friend of Clive and advocate of his art, but Don's unique and inspiring paintings are for sale, and over 50% of the proceeds go to the Arts and Medicine program at the Texas Children's Cancer Center. Click the side banner and follow the link to the Etsy shop where artwork has returned from the local galleries. Check out his newest painting, Butterfly, available to buy now. All right, well, welcome. This is episode 395 of the Clive Barker podcast. Good evening, Jose.
Brains.
Yeah, that's going to be next week's episode that we just finished recording, right?
This is Zombie Joe coming at you because we did, with Ed and Nina, we recorded the commentary track for Dawn of the Dead, right? Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and they actually don't say brain. That's on Return of the Living Dead.
You got me there. Yeah. Absolutely. They actually don't speak.
They say, ooh.
But anyway, so that was fun. I hadn't seen that movie in such a long time, so this morning was pretty funny. Yeah. With lots of pies and zombie faces. But now we got some interesting news to talk about different kinds of characters in the Clive Barker cinematic universe.
Yeah, so I guess first up, this was kind of our biggest news, and it's a mixed bag, right? So Hellraiser 2022, the Hulu movie, is now available on physical media, asterisk. It's a pretty big asterisk.
Sure. It's a good news for some people and maybe not so good news, but at the same time might signify future good news. It's complicated, but Hellraiser 2022, right? The David Bruckner directed film that had Jamie Clayton as the Hell Priestess of Hell.
And Odessa Zion as Riley.
Even though this was on Hulu, which is a streaming platform, they actually are launching a DVD release in the United Kingdom.
Yeah, and you heard that right, DVD release. So all the news said it was going to be available on DVD, and I thought that was just kind of they're just saying the word DVD because it's familiar, and that's not really going to be a DVD, but it is. I mean,
it is.
Yeah, when you go to order it, and you found you found even the link to it to pre-order it on Amazon UK. It really is a DVD with no special features on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a poison pill, right? I mean,
right.
It's a sweet poison pill because, unfortunately, we live in the age of Blu-ray, but this DVD
and 4K Blu-rays
and 4K ultra high definition, right? My idea behind this that I brought up a few times when we were talking was that I think maybe the streaming platform like Hulu, maybe it wants to preserve the experience for the ones who pay for high definition subscriptions to be able to, still have to pay for it. But at least I'm glad to stand corrected when I kept saying, you kept saying, I hope that there's a physical release. And I always brought it up. Oh, this is a streaming platform. They're not going to do that. Well, I eat my shorts, like Bart Simpson would say. So they are releasing it. But the thing that shocks me a little bit is, like you said, it's in DVD. And also there's no special features at all. Yeah. Like the only things that it has, looking at the mock-up for the box that they have on the pre-order, it's going to have English, French, Parisian Dolby Digital 5.1 surround, audio descriptive track, English, and then subtitles in English, French, and running time is 116 minutes. So that's all it has. There's no trailer on it. There's no featurette on it. There's nothing. Yeah. And that's kind of surprising, right? It's just a very bare bones edition.
And why a DVD? I mean, I guess we already kind of harped on that. But
I know. But it still makes you wonder how are DVDs still commercially put out nowadays?
Well, and I guess there are people that wait a minute. I see VHS tape from £12.95.
Sure.
What?
What? No. Are you on Amazon.co.uk right now?
Oh, that's
the original Hellraiser. That's
going back to the original Hellraiser. Way to go, Amazon.
Well, it's the studio fault, really. I mean, nowadays every franchise movie that comes back shares the same title as the original.
And if you click the Blu-ray link, it goes to 1987 Hellraiser also.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, at least you can see the covers. I know it's a complicated situation with Amazon sometimes to find the right copy that you want to order, especially for older items. But at least, hey, this is coming out, so our friends over in the UK are getting a chance to pre-order this. Well, shucks, I might pre-order this.
The Hellraiser podcast people talked a little bit about this on their last little mini episode, and one thing that they said is probably as soon as they buy it, then it'll come out. You know, they'll come out with a better version. And then they said, no, I guarantee what's actually going to happen is the better version will be available only in the United States.
Well,
that would really suck for them, for people in the UK for sure.
Well, I hope whatever good quality one of the country gets, the other one will also get that. I mean, we've had stuff like the Scarlet Box that came out in one country and then the other. People were complaining when the first one came out, I'm going to have to buy a multi-region Blu-ray player. And then, I mean, in a few months or a year later, you know, the Scarlet Box existed in a different region. So who knows? Maybe this will happen.
I mean, it's a 4K movie. It plays in 4K on Hulu. So it really should be a 4K Blu-ray, and they can include a regular HD version of Blu-ray in the box with it. But DVD, I mean, come on.
Well, amen to that, and I hope you're right this time again that eventually this will have that particular release, because DVD is a little disappointing, right? It's a little disappointing.
It's what you find in the bargain bin at Walmart now.
It makes you wonder, though, how far is DVD going to last? It seems to be the everlasting format, right?
Yeah, well, and the nice thing about DVDs is that Blu-ray players can still play them.
Yes, that's important.
Unlike videotapes, they just kind of disappeared.
You got that retro compatibility, which means that even though people might, what happens to like VCRs, right? Yeah. VCRs break down. Eventually, it's hard to find a working VCR unless you go to a thrift store or whatever, or you buy old stock. But those are going to be prohibitively expensive. Yeah. So the same could happen to DVD, except for that fact that even if DVD players break down, if you have a Blu-ray, you'll just pop that in the Blu-ray player. Yeah. So I guess that is keeping it alive, maybe?
Yeah. I'm still subscribed to Hulu's ever since Hellraiser came out, because there's a couple of shows I've been watching on there, but I would kind of like to just get the Blu-ray of this. I mean,
of course.
They did for Candyman, right?
Right, yeah.
Oh, well, Candyman also came out in theaters.
That's right, yes.
Yeah, no, what was it? It was Book of Blood. That's the other one that was the Hulu exclusive, and that's still never come out on Blu-ray either.
Yeah,
that's true. Books of Blood. Sorry, Book of Blood is different. Is the other one?
Right, the one that has that third act where you know the girl who has misphonia.
Yeah.
And well, you know, I mean, who knows? Maybe if this one sells well, they will also bring it out in the U.S. So maybe I'm pre-ordering my copy.
Clive Barker 2-pack with Book of Blood or Books of Blood and Hellraiser 2022.
Yeah, I don't know. I would like to see them get separate releases. Yeah. Both of them should be released, of course, but I would like to have this Hellraiser by itself. That's just personal preference.
I'll take what I can get.
Yeah.
Right. That would be my preference too, but I don't know. Yeah. I really didn't expect this.
I do have a good feeling now that we might get something like this in the U.S. and eventually maybe a better release. Now
that Predator movie, what is it called? Prey, right? That hasn't come out on. There's been no news about that coming out on a physical release either.
That's true. But there are a lot of good movies now that are being put out by streaming platforms that a lot of people are starting to complain in forums and stuff like, well, this was one of the coolest movies of the year for me, but it's like I have to stay with this ball and chain of the streaming platform to keep watching it if I want to, because I can't put it in my collection.
Yeah, it's a weird way to bring piracy back almost.
And in a lot of cases, probably people, even if they could buy the movie on Blu-ray, they probably would still want to keep watching the shows they watch on Hulu or the shows they watch on Netflix or whatever. Yeah. most people are very lazy when it comes to canceling subscriptions. So you can just factor that in.
Yeah. But if they do want to leave, if they just want to own the movie and they want to quit their subscription, Hellraiser is worth $25. Hellraiser 2022 is worth $25 on or 30 or whatever, but it's not worth, $10 a month for forever.
Yeah, and I think they would make more money if they actually sold that movie.
I think so too.
Than having people just take their 7-day trial to watch the movie and then just cancel it 4 or 5 days later, and then you didn't get any of my money. Yeah. So, I mean, they do get my money. I am a subscriber, but I'm saying the person who would do that would be like, hey, okay, well, I'll just do the trial and cancel it. I mean,
and Clive Barker fans are collectors, at least the ones that we know, the ones we talk to, and ourselves are included in that. We want to own this movie on that we can set on the shelf.
I want to do a commentary track for this movie.
Yeah.
Hey, call us up. We'll do it for free.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, you don't have to lead with that.
I am shameless. Hey, we already are published in a Blu-ray, official Blu-ray. So
that's true. Well, I would take money if they offered it.
Sure, whatever. I mean, whatever. Yeah, I guess I shouldn't have led with that. That would come in handy. But anyway, just let us know if you're planning on doing anything in the U.S.
Yeah.
We'd love to be a part of that. We'd love to promote it.
Definitely. So, and speaking of Hellraiser, right? Martin Mercer, who I guess he worked on Hellraiser 3 and Nightbreed and
a lot of those.
So, he has his own podcast called The Wrong Side of Hollywood.
That's right. I think the first episode came out 2 weeks ago, right?
Well, and now they've got like 5 episodes already.
Whoa, what's their frequency? Are they like every other day?
Yeah,
that is amazing.
They put out like 5 episodes all at once.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I guess they do it whenever, the fancy hits them to do an episode.
Or there's 6 episodes now. Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so you've listened to some of those?
Just the first one. Just the
the testing.
Yeah, testing part 1. Yeah, but it was pretty good. I liked it. And so recommended. We had Martin Mercer come on the show, and he talked to us about his work with Clive and what else he has done, and it's fun to listen to him talk about his experience moving from England over to Hollywood and working in movies.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he was on episode 337. So if you want to go back and listen to that one, that's a really good episode with Martin Mercer. And I think Ed was also with us on that one.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And speaking of people moving to the United States from England, Doug Bradley is going to be on Gotham Knights, which is like one of those WB DC shows, kind of like Arrow and The Flash and stuff. So
right, the CW. Sorry, the CW.
I said WB. I did the wrong initials.
Yeah, that's okay. CW. I mean, Warner Brothers is a big studio, but this is the CW Gotham Knights. And I haven't seen this show, but now I might get into it. It's if they're going to have Doug Bradley show up as Joe Chill.
Yeah, who is the guy that killed Batman's parents.
Yeah.
I don't know very much about Batman, so I thought it was the Joker that killed Batman's parents because of the
movie, the Michael Keaton film. Yeah.
But what do I know? I don't read the comics or anything.
I really actually like that they did that for the movie because it kind of made it like a circle, right? Kind of It was kind of cool, even though I knew that the Joker's story was nothing like that, and that there was some guy who shot. I didn't know. It's like the guy who shot Uncle Ben, right, for Spider-Man or whatever. There's always some tragic event that creates a superhero. It looks like the other characters in this show are the offspring of Batman villains, right? So he's going to be like an older character, I guess.
Yeah, right. And is the premise that Batman is gone, and so it's like new other people that are sort of trying to take his place?
Bruce Wayne's son after Bruce Wayne is murdered, he forges an alliance with some of the children of Batman's enemies because they were all framed for killing Batman.
Oh.
And as the city's most wanted criminals, this renegade band of misfits must fight to clear their names. But in a Gotham with no Dark Knight to protect it, the city descends into the most dangerous it's ever been. However, hope comes from the most unexpected places, as this team of mismatched fugitives will become its next generation of saviors known as Gotham Knights.
Hopefully,
and I guess
Joe Chill didn't kill Batman also.
He
just shows up. He shows up once every 40 years to kill somebody in the Wayne family.
Yeah, he's like the Michael Myers of the Bruce Wayne clan.
Right.
Like, I got to kill everybody in the family.
Yeah.
That was a bad joke.
Yeah.
But oh, cool. So, yeah, maybe you're onto something there, Ryan. Maybe Joe Chill has something to do with killing Batman.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out when I'm going to tune in because I want to see now I want to see Doug Bradley.
I want to record the episode.
Yeah.
We'll clip some scenes from it, and I'll try to clip some scenes and put them over in our page.
And most of those CW shows are on Netflix, if you still have that.
I do. I still have Netflix,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I watched The Flash and Supergirl and all of those.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I never really got that much into the DC shows. I've always been more of a Marvel kind of guy.
I am too. I like Marvel way better, but I still want to see what they're about.
Right. I used to read a lot of comics, Batman and Superman, and then Crisis on Infinite Earths was a big event that DC had, which I got into DC, tried to get into DC with the Crisis on Infinite Earths, and I tried to buy all the crossover issues, but then I was like, this is too much money.
Yeah. Well, Marvel had that same problem too. Story continues in, Wolverine number 78. And I'm like, come on, man. So
I ended up borrowing some of the ones that I was missing, and I just, I was like, okay, that was okay. Aliens want to take over the multiverse or whatever, and there's some guy. But anyway, it's great that he's going to be in Gotham Knights, and I'm definitely going to tune in to watch him, as I think everybody should, to support Doug Bradley.
Yeah. And then our last little bit of news, thanks to Ian Swanson found this for us. We had no idea, but Clive Barker directed a music video by Billy Avarathar.
Avarathar. His name is Billy Avarathar Hatfield, and he describes himself on his Instagram as a simple songwriter sharing love through music. Born in Kuching, Sarawak, Malaysia, and a proud American citizen. He also says Avarathar Hatfield on YouTube, link, #1 Kiss fan. Oh. And I have a little mini odyssey that I just did before we started our episode, where I was like looking deeper into the career of Billy Avarathar. So the music video that did you listen? You saw the music video, right?
Yeah, I watched it.
I think that was made quite a few years ago, right? Maybe this says 5 years ago, posted on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
So, it should have been 2017, 2018. Yeah, 2018, I guess.
And the video doesn't have very many hits. So, everybody listening, go check that out. We've got the link in the show notes. So you can kind of boost it up for Clive and for Billy Avarathar.
Oh, yeah. Heck
never heard of until now.
Well, I remember seeing him in photography that Clive released on his website. If you remember when he was in doing male nude photography and painted photography, body painting. I remember I recognized him when I saw his picture from the music video. I was like, oh, yeah, I've seen this guy in Clive Barker's photos because he has these freaking massive abs.
Yeah, right. And the direction of the video is kind of focusing on his glistening body.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. But, hey, this was a really well-done music video. I think you can hear Clive talk a little bit in the beginning and the end, and I'm sure they shot this somewhere in Beverly Hills. Great song. And then I decided, hey, let me see if I can find out more about Billy Avarathar. So I went on a little quest, and I found his Instagram, like I said, where I'm looking at. He's been pretty active there. He posts a lot of stuff on his Instagram. And then on his Instagram, there's a link to his Spotify. So I clicked on that, and I found Averathar Hatfield's Spotify. I proceeded to check that he had 1 monthly listener, so now he's got 2.
All right. There we go.
He still only has one track called One, which I have listened to as well. It's a really good track. It's him singing with playing the guitar. Kind of like the music video that Clive Barker shot, except it's a different song. Considering Spotify only pays about half a cent to a third of a cent for each play on Spotify. I hope we can send more people to Averathar Hatfield's Spotify.
There we go. Yeah.
Got to boost those numbers, people. 162 views on the YouTube channel as of today.
I've actually never used Spotify.
Wait, what? Just Apple Music?
No, I don't listen to streaming stuff. I import my DVDs into the computer and then I push them out to my phone.
Oh, okay, cool.
Or CDs, I mean. Yeah, my CDs.
Right. Yeah. So you got all the stuff in physical as well?
Yeah, mostly. I mean, there are one or two things that I've bought, bought the albums through iTunes, formerly called iTunes.
So hold the presses. So how many CDs would you think you have in your collection right now?
Maybe like 100.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Yeah, I thought you would have more because you've been collecting so many like heavy metal and rock bands, right?
Oh no, it's more than 100. Because there 40 of them are Alice Cooper.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so no, it's probably more like 200.
All right. And then tomorrow you'll tell me it's probably 500.
Yeah, well, and they're all still mostly in bins in the garage, so I can't look at them and count them right now.
Nice. And do you still have any vinyl? Or did you ever get into vinyl? No.
Not really. I mean, I had when I was a kid, I had a record player, but I kind of went to cassettes right away and never really, and then I switched to CDs.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I had a record player, but I mostly played like those storybook albums, right? It was like when you hear R2-D2 say, "Brr, brr, 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 blat, turn the page."
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I just bought a vinyl with a story from Space 1999.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's read by one of the actors from the TV show.
Wow.
So
I've owned bootleg vinyls because that was the only format you could get them on. Then I would rip them into the computer and then save them as MP3s.
Oh, and how did you do that? Did you connect your record player into your computer?
Yeah. There was a phono input to USB plug or something that I
Whoa,
used.
That's advanced. Okay, I didn't know there was phono to USB. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay. But go listen to Billy Averathar Hatfield. He's got just 162 views on YouTube from the last 5 years. So let's boost those numbers up a little bit. And I think Ian got this music video from the archive, the Clive Barker archive, I think.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Something we all kind of missed. And Ian's been really deep diving into stuff lately, so he found that. And
thanks, Ian.
Yeah, and the news has been a little quiet on the Clive Barker front, like for himself. So maybe new books are imminent. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah.
At least the poetry collection, which I believe that should probably be poetry that's already pretty much written.
Yeah, and the short story collection.
Yeah, well, you can see all the updates to that if you go to Clive Barker Archive or clivebarker.info.
Yeah.
And also check out our previous episode with Phil and Sarah, which was really informative.
Yeah, exactly. And for us, coming up, well, next time we're going to have A to Z commentary, Z for Zombie, and Dawn of the Dead. And then we're going to continue that series on and do like Day of the Dead and maybe Land of the Dead. And we're going to do more classic commentary so that we can kind of bring them into the fold of the podcast feed with numbers, episode numbers and everything. And more Jericho Squad 77, more news and interviews. We keep on trucking. Cue
the Robert Crumb animation.
Yeah.
The old guy keeping on trucking.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, and this podcast, having no beginning, will have no end.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us, and we hope you have subscribed. You can find the Clive Barker podcast wherever you find audio. Show notes for this episode, as well as news and reviews, can be found at our website at www.clivebarkercast.com. The Clive Barker Podcast, or BarkerCast, is an independent editorial podcast and blog that is not affiliated with or under contract by Clive Barker or Seraphim Inc. This is a labor of love by the fans for the fans. Watch for our annual Kickstarter fundraisers to get some cool stuff, and you can buy t-shirts on our TeePublic store. Go to tpublic.com and search for BarkerCast.
Thanks for listening.